Hello, Inner Light. Gary Lynn Floyd. Great to be back with you this morning. I got a good one for you. It's called We Have Come Here. I wrote this with my friend Karen Drucker. It goes like this. We have come here to love one another. We have come here to let our love show. We are family, we're sisters and brothers, and we carry this love everywhere that we go. Oh, oh. Whoa, whoa, yeah. We have come here to love one another. We have come here to let our love show. We are family, we're sisters and brothers. We carry this love everywhere that we go. We carry this love. We carry this love. We carry this love. We carry this love everywhere that we go. We have come here to love one another. We have come here to let our love show. We are family, we're sisters and brothers, and we carry this love everywhere that we go. We carry this love. We carry this love. We carry this love. We carry this love everywhere that we go. We carry this love. We carry this love. We carry this love. We carry this love everywhere that we go. We carry this love everywhere that we go. One more time. We carry this love everywhere that we go.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's Gary Lynn Floyd.
Thank you.
New one, fresh out the box. Let's take a breath, Deep cleansing breath. As I welcome you here to Inner Light Ministries, to our Sunday morning virtual offering. I'm Reverend Deborah L. Johnson, also known of as Rev D. And I am so pleased to be with you at this great moment in time. What an auspicious time in history this is. Out of all of the places in the world that you could possibly be at this exact moment, we're here. We're here, and we're here together. That is no accident. It's no accident. This is a divine appointment because something is calling you. Something's calling you up. Something is calling you out. Something is telling you that you are more than this, that we are more than this. And we breathe that in. Breathe that in. In Inner Light Ministries, we are about spiritual transformation. That's what we're about. We believe in spiritual oneness. We try to embody that. We appreciate individualized expressions, the way that this one thing that is expresses itself in diversity and variety every time that it manifests. And we honor all paths that lead to truth, to environmental sustainability and regeneration, all paths that lead to justice. Just breathe that in for a moment. Breathe that in. We're doing this journey together. Together. We don't even have to know each other's names. We're traveling with people all over the world we may never meet. But it doesn't matter because everything is energy. We're energetic vibrations. And whenever vibrations come together, whenever two or more are gathered, there's something that happens. The more people who are holding an idea in consciousness, the quicker it comes into manifestation. And the more intense the vibration is that people are holding about it, the greater it manifests. Isn't that extraordinary? Your thoughts are not private. Whoa. Your thoughts are not private. Your thoughts are part of the collective ethers. Every time you think, you're making a deposit. That's something, isn't it? Kind of think of it like the cloud that we're storing data in all the time. It's like it goes up in the cloud. Very few people can tell you like where the cloud is. And yet we're trusting all our data in it. We're trusting that we can put something in there that when we need it, we can retrieve it. And even if we don't use it for a long time, it's archived until we do need it. Well, this is what happens with consciousness, that we can't unthink a thought. Every time we think something, it goes up into the cloud, so to speak. The more people that are putting their attention on that, then it's trending. It's trending. And when something's trending, the more energy that there is about it. But just because it's trending doesn't mean that it's not back there somewhere. That's why history repeats itself. It repeats itself because the patterns, the energetic fields of everything from the successes to the mistakes are all available to be tapped into again. Why is this so important? It's so important because you may think you're discarding. You may think, well, I'm not thinking that anymore, but it's left there for somebody else to pick up. Kind of what's happening with the United States and weapons. We're the biggest manufacturer of weapons for our military. But even way after our military uses it, the weapons are still out there. They're still out there, and then other people are picking up and using them. And I'm not just talking about military, and you know this. So we got to be very, very careful. Very, very careful. Okay? Because I contend that the greatest weapon of mass destruction is your mouth. Is your mouth. Your mouth being the reflection of your thinking. Okay? We have to mind our minds. We have to use that powerful, powerful tool for good. We have to direct all that energy towards the things that we actually want to see manifest. At Inner Light Ministries, we offer tools for living. These tools are there to help you put into practice in very practical ways universal spiritual principles to all of life's circumstances, from our most personal concerns, interpersonal concerns, global concerns, political concerns, because there aren't different sets of rules. It's not like there's a different cloud for your selfie than there is for top military secrets. Yeah, it's the same apparatus that's out there. These tools for living. One of the tools that we offer every single week are affirmative activations. Exactly 100 words to change your life. 100 words. They don't mean anything unless they are repeated enough to be able to get inside your psyche. We have to say them enough till they become rooted in our subconscious, which then allows it to manifest in the conscious world. See, first the roots and then the fruits. You believe what you believe, not because it's true. You believe what you believe because you have planted the seeds, because you have watered it, nurtured it, protected it. You have fortified it. Well, it's the same thing here. We're offering you seeds. They're seeds. They are seeds of possibility. They are seeds of practices, of perceptions, of paradigms, of perspectives, ways of seeing things. But they just remain seeds unless they take root inside of you. So these affirmative activations are about to come on your screen. And if you are at all able, I want to invite you to say them with me right now. Our topic today is everyone is my neighbor. I love you, my neighbor, as an extension of myself. Everyone is my neighbor, whether I approve of you or not. Every life is valuable and precious. Everyone has a reason for being. We each make a contribution to the whole. Life is about sharing the journey, not getting ahead of you. Life is about traveling with you, not arriving before or without you. I drop contrast and comparison to appreciate you. I stop emotionally competing so I can celebrate us all. I am moved by your presence, concerned with your needs. My actions affirm that as community, we matter. Just breathe that in. And I am going to invite Gary Lynn Floyd to give us another musical offering to help cultivate the soil of our consciousness to receive these seeds.
Awesome. I wrote this song yesterday for the service that we have coming up at CSL Reno on Sunday, and it just seems totally appropriate for the theme this morning at Inner Light. So it's called Remember Who You Are. And I've never played it before, so I'm going out on a limb. Do you remember you are love at the heart of your being? Do you remember there is more to this life than what you're seeing? Let me remind you, you are beautiful by far. There's no more to find when you remember who you are. If you ever forget, I will help you remember who you are and who you're here to be. Sometimes it's hard to make a way through the dark, but I will see for you and help you remember. Remember who you are. Do you remember there is peace in the middle of this storm? Do you remember you have all you need inside to keep you warm? Let me remind you, you're the dust from a star. Your essence is revealed when you remember who you are. If you ever forget, I will help you remember who you are and who you're here to be. Sometimes it's hard
to make a way through the dark, but I will see for you and help you remember. Remember who you are. You are stronger than you think, you are braver than you seem. The life laid down before you is beyond your wildest dream. If you ever forget, I will help you remember who you are and who you're here to be. Sometimes it's hard to make a way through the dark, but I will see for you and help you remember. If you ever forget, I will help you remember who you are and who you're here to be. Sometimes it's hard to make a way through the dark, but I will see for you and help you remember. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember who you are.
Well, that's a keeper.
I made it through it.
Thank you, Gary. Woo, we have the
Thank
world debut.
Yes, yes, yes.
We so appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. It's Gary Lynn Floyd. Let's take a breath. What a beautiful, beautiful message to help cultivate this topic for today about everyone is my neighbor. Everyone is my neighbor. When I think of neighbor, I automatically think of neighborhood. And this idea that everybody is a neighbor, what it says to me is that I'm not the only one on the block. I'm not the only one on the street. That there are other people who live on the block and who live on the street too. I don't get to pick and choose who's on the street with me. I don't get to pick and choose when they move out or who else moves in. I don't get to pick and choose what race they are, what religion they are, what their lifestyle is, or what their tastes are. But none of those things makes them any more or less my neighbor. Your political philosophy could be diametrically opposed to mine. But if you're on my block, that doesn't make you any less my neighbor than the one with whom I am fully aligned. And in my mind, the whole world is nothing but a block. The whole world is nothing but a neighborhood. So just breathe that in for a moment. You're not the only one on the planet. You're not the only one on the earth. There are all kind of people on this planet and this earth. And what makes them your neighbor is not the kinship in the sense of the similarities. What makes them your neighbor is that they are alive and sharing this journey with you. I used to think that people would get in the way of my path. And I remember this one spirit download that said so loudly, people are your path. Let that sink in for a minute. People are your path. It's almost as though life is this big classroom, or sometimes, or it's school, or sometimes I think of it even as like a gymnasium or something like that, or like a workout room. That if we're using the academic theme, you might have people in different classrooms that appear to be learning, quote unquote, different things, but we're all learning and it all intersects. And just like everybody within that school, it would be the same as everybody being on your block. There's one neighborhood there called that particular school. Well, life is a big school. It's a big school. And you got some people over here taking this class and some people over here taking that class or majoring this thing and majoring that thing. But we're all in this journey together. We're all there. Just breathe that in. We are all there. I remember when I was in ministerial school, and I was thinking that ministerial school was kind of like about theology, so to speak, about learning principles and all of the rest of that. Well, I studied through the religious science denomination, and sometimes referred to as science of mind. They go by Centers for Spiritual Living now. I went out of the Holmes Institute. And through the years, as I've talked about people who've gone to various kinds of seminaries and ministerial schools, we've all come to the same conclusion that the biggest thing that seminary taught you was people. That us learning how to get along with each other, that the forgiveness that had to be practiced, the working together on the projects, the supporting each other, the working through the difficulties, to having to rise above the confusions and the forgiveness, that all of that was fundamentally and deliberately a part of the program itself. Well, I contend that's what life is. That so much of life is just the learning how to be with one another. I get these spirit downloads, and there are a couple of them that are kind of whirling around in my head right now. One of them was talking about religious principles and saying that ultimately religion should take you back to yourself. It should take you back to your spirituality, which is transcendent of religion, that religion is based upon history and context and culture and all the rest of that. But your spirituality is organic. Your spirituality doesn't have time and culture and history or gender or race or creed or nationality or any of that stuff. Your spirituality is your innate connection to the divine. And what religion should be doing is taking you back to you. But too often that religion is taking you to the religion. It's taking you there instead of back to yourself. And then it described the religious laws like this. I thought this was absolutely brilliant. It said, any kind of rules, regulations, or whatever that come out of religious traditions should be like traffic laws. Like traffic laws. They don't tell you where to go. They just ensure that each of you can arrive safely without interfering with each other's journeys. I want to say that again. It said that any religious laws or edicts or whatever should just be like traffic laws. They don't tell you where to go. They just ensure that you can arrive, that you can get to whatever the destination is for you without interfering with each other's journeys. Just let that sink in for a moment. You have a journey. Your neighbor has a journey. Your journey is not your neighbor's journey. Your neighbor's journey is not your journey. Some of you are going to wind up actually going to the same location, so to speak. But no matter what you do, all roads lead to God. Call it by whatever name that you want to, but there's just one presence, one power. Everything comes out of it and everything goes back into it. Matter is neither created nor destroyed. It only changes form. That's all that it does. So whether you get so elated, whether you become so enlightened that you're just up on the mountaintop in absolute nirvana, okay, you will find the divine there. Or if you get to the lowest depths of despair, down into the gutter, quote unquote, hitting the bottom, as we call it sometimes, you'll find God there. On the mountaintop, in the gutter, you're going to find the same God. You're going to find the same divine. You're going to find the same creation. Just one journey is a little bit more scenic than the other. But you're not going to wind up someplace else. Okay, just breathe that in for a moment. That ultimately, we're all going to the same place. It's like if you go east and you go west, you travel long enough, you're going to wind up meeting. Okay? There's no place else to go but life. And all of life is going to take you to the divine. Everybody traveling this thing called life is your fellow traveler. Everybody traveling this thing called life is your neighbor. Like it or not, they are your neighbor. Just breathe that in. Everyone has value. Everyone has meaning. And I know that we're living in a most contentious time period at the collective level. There's just as much love as there's ever been. There's just as much harmony, cooperation in the essence as there's ever been. We just ebb and tide in how much we express it or how much we experience it. It's true on our personal lives and it's true on the collective level. There's not more joy that exists in one time period than another. There's not more creativity in one time frame or another. It's just a question of how much do you tap into it? How much is it the focus of your attention? How much do you allow it to express? Take a breath. Take a breath. Develop the determination. Develop the intention to want everybody to enjoy the same goodness of life that you want for yourself and your family. Let's breathe that in for a moment. There's only oneness. The problem isn't so much who it is that we think are the throwaways, so to speak, the ones of lesser value. The problem is that there is the concept of the throwaway period. Listen to what I'm saying. It's just like with a family. There's that idea sometimes of the quote unquote, the black sheep, that there's this one that doesn't quite fit in with everybody else, and that's marginalized or not as welcome, not as embraced. Okay. As long as that is part of your family ethos, it will always be somebody. Like generation to generation to generation. It'll always be somebody, because it's like a script, it's like a placeholder that's in the drama of your family life. So it's not a question of just trying to elevate person by person, generation after generation. It becomes a matter of healing that construct within your family psyche so that it's no longer acceptable for anybody to be a throwaway. Nobody. And what does it serve you? I mean, literally, when you think about it, what does it serve you? Are any of you better off for casting somebody out? Is your life really all that better for stomping on somebody else? I don't think so. I don't think so. We're all in this thing together. That was one of the things that COVID really taught us. That you don't have your own air. You don't have your own air. We're all breathing in the same air. And that what you do impacts everybody else. And you have opportunities to behave in ways that's going to make it easier for everybody else to live too. That if we're going to pull through, there are these moments and there are these times where we've got to work together, even if it means some kind of quote unquote personal sacrifice on our part. Because if you're not healthy and you're not whole, my family can't be healthy in safety. It can't be healthy and live in safety. You know, it feels like duh, but how often do we act like that isn't the case? Everyone is your neighbor. Everyone deserves to be healthy, whole, housed, educated, in community, safe, clean air, clean water, food, shelter. And you may feel like, okay, Rev D, you're putting like a really low bar there. But how many people in the world don't have those things? I'm talking about like close to half. And you don't have to go all the way around the world to find that. It's right among us. It's among us. And besides just our most basic personal needs, we all have need for acceptance. We have need for belonging. We have need for support. And we're hearing more and more rhetoric these days about whatever. Well, that's not America. That's not America, or that's not who we are. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We are all of it. We're all of it. And if you distance yourself from the ones that you say that you don't like, if you distance yourselves from the ones that you think are not reflective of the highest consciousness that you would want them to have, then we wind up in this dance where everybody's doing the same thing to each other. Everybody's doing the same thing to each other. This one's judging you for not being good enough. Then you judge them for judging you for not being good enough. Then they're reacting to your judgment about their judgment. And it just keeps going on and on and on. Listen to what I'm saying. Everything is consciousness. It's not just about the people. That as long as you have the consciousness in your mind, somebody else is going to fill that spot. It is fallacious to think that you're going to root out or end terrorism with war, with bombs. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. We can't annihilate people. People aren't vermins and just going to be like rooted out. This language we're hearing everywhere, whether it's our country, like in other countries, that's not how it works. You can bomb the world into pieces, but you can't bomb it into peace. You can't bomb the world into peace. Peace is a matter of the heart. It's a matter of the heart. And if you're making more enemies in the reconciliation process, then you're just going to have more enemies. For every body that you quote unquote take out, then there's their children. There's their community that's going to rise up in retaliation, that's going to rise up in retribution, and we're just doing this crazy thing all over the place. So just take a breath, everybody. Just take a deep breath. What do you want? Do you really want the world to live in peace? Do you really want a world that works for everyone? If that's what you want, we have to start with that. We have to believe it's a possibility. The moment you hear yourself going, well, but what about? That's a warning signal. Okay. Oh, but what about? No exceptions. Absolutely no exceptions. the great divine loves everybody as a part of itself. I was talking to somebody a couple of days ago about this nuance that was in one of my spirit letters that's in the Sacred Yes. These collections of these spirit letters. At the point in time when I was doing the final editing, and I remember exactly where I was in my office at our former center with my assistant at the time, who was Colleen Douglas. And Colleen and I were going through the stuff and, really like fine-toothing it. And there was this little nuance in there. And this particular letter, that spirit voice was saying to us as a humanity, won't you love what I love? Won't you love whom I love? If I can love, can't you love? And it went on and it said, what if I love Osama bin Laden? What if I love this one and that one? And what I didn't catch before was that it said, what if I loved, past tense, Saddam Hussein? And in the time between getting that letter and it being published, the United States executed Saddam Hussein. Wow. That foreshadowing was in the letter, but I hadn't caught it as a past tense. So, who are those exceptions in your mind? Who are the, yeah, but what about, I don't want goodness for them. I don't want them to be my neighbor. What I can tell you, once again, it is the system itself that would allow for somebody to be excluded. Because if you allow that system to exist, one day it will be you. Listen to what I'm saying. If you have the intolerance that doesn't allow for everybody to be under the umbrella of the divine as your brothers and your sisters, the day will come along when there will be other people who are thinking that exact same thing about you. How you're a threat for whatever reason. You're a threat because of your religion. You're a threat because of your political position. You're a threat because of something that you're supporting. You're pro-choice. And they're thinking, oh, danger, danger, danger. You're pro-marriage equality, danger, danger, danger. You're pro-racial diversity, danger, danger, danger. We're diluting the gene pool and, America's going to hell, because we got too many immigrants. I'm telling you, whatever you want to see in the outer world, be it. Be it. Dare to vibrate at that frequency. I contend we have no moral authority to ask people to do things that we're not willing to do ourselves. If you're tired of the gridlock in Congress and you're tired of the people not wanting to compromise, not wanting to go on the other side of the aisle, so to speak, think about you. What are you doing? What is your tolerance level to be able to even so much as listen to something that you don't agree with? I'm not saying you've got to agree with it, but can you just stop tuning it out, disregarding it, devaluing the people who aren't agreeing with you, and just wholesale dismissing them? Like, I just wish they'd go away. And even if you win an election, particularly if you win by a little small margin, those people didn't go away. They're still there. At some point, there has to be the willingness on our part to work it out, to even try to find a way. Because if my answer is, we just overpower you, our way just wins out over you, and that's the end of the story, then guess what? They're just waiting for the hand to turn. They're just waiting for the situation to flip so that they can now be in the position of the power and ignore you and act like your values and what you stand for don't matter. Just take a breath. I know this sounds harsh, and it's harsh because we're in a state of emergency right now. Okay? As we're winding down this year and starting to go into the 2024, I'm saying that as a marker because I don't know when you're actually like tuning into this, that now more so than any time that I can think of in my entire life is this message of intent more important for everybody to be our neighbor, for us to have the vision of the possibility that we can all share this planet together. You don't have to figure out how it's going to happen. Just putting the demand out in the universe for it to happen. Okay? The demand. See, when there's enough demand, the supply will happen. We all know that. We don't have to know where the supply is coming from, but you already know when there's enough demand for clean energy, we'll have it. When there's enough demand for justice, we'll have it. When there's enough demand for equal education, we'll have it. Don't lower your sights based upon what you see has already been done. Raise the vibration of what can be done. And the more people who are hanging out in that vibration, we open up the floodgate of possibilities of actualization, possibilities of manifestation, possibilities of demonstration, possibilities of ways in which possibility can come forth. As it says in scripture, seek first the kingdom of God and all of its righteousness, and all things will be added. We chase after the things first and figure, well, once I get the things, then I can look at the justice. And I can look at, well, what would the beloved community be like once I get all my things? No, it's the other way around. When we seek that first, all the things will be added. Let's breathe that in. Breathe that in. Let's take this to prayer. Turning within, we solidify. We cultivate the precious soil of our consciousness so that we're fertile, so that the seeds of divine promise can take root deep in our soul. We come this day with the mustard seed of faith. Just a little itty bitty seed. Yet it's one of the strongest weeds in the world. Gobbles up everything in the garden. And we allow the little seeds of faith that we plant in our hearts right now to gobble up everything in the garden. To take over our lives. To take over our mind. Create in us a clean heart, oh God. And renew a right spirit within us. We're no longer conforming to this age, to this time, but we're being transformed by the renewing of our mind. Coming to the well time and time again. Coming to the well of truth. Coming to the well of justice. Coming to the well of peace, of harmony, of divine order and right action. Room enough for all. This is what we know. In this moment right now, in the midst, we call it forth. All of the spiritual qualities, they're there. We're just activating them in our consciousness. We're saying to the outer world of effects, you have no control here. We are victorious. We are transcendent. We say to the cancer, move. We say to the lack and limitation, move. We say to the discordant relationships, move. Oh, and we call forth the health. We call forth the abundance. We call forth the reconciliation. The clarity lurking in the midst of the seeming confusions. We call it forth. This is where we stand. And enoughness and sufficiency. Enoughness of everything. It is our spiritual birthright to be whole, to be complete, to be safe in the loving arms of God. And we say thank you. We say a special blessing in this moment right now for Mama Earth. Peace. Amidst earthquakes and floods and fires and all of that, I say peace. We speak a word for all of the wars, the conflict, near and far. In our own homes, across the sea, in matters large or small. Call forth the love, the peace, the valuing of one another where every life is sacred. This is where we stand. We let the laughter out. We let the joy out. We let the dancing out. We let the creativity out. Like the song said, this joy I have, the world didn't give it. and the world can't take it away. So we dare to rejoice even in the midst. It is done. We get out the way. We allow it to be. And so it is. Amen. Gary, give me a little chorus or something. We need to just see.
One heart, one life. We are one family, one earth. And together we can make a difference in our world. Every creed and color, every boy and girl, all of creation, no separation. We are one. One heart, one life, one world, one mind, one heart, one love, one life. All of creation, no separation. We are one. One heart.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Thank you. Just breathe that in. We're praying community here at Inner Light. You'll see scrolling across your screen right now are ways to get in touch with our ministry of prayer. You can send us an email, the number 4 and the word prayer at innerlightministries.com. You can give us a call at 831-465-9090 at extension 254. Our prayer practitioners are waiting. They will get back to you. If you don't reach them right away, they will get back to you with something personalized just for you. Not canned. It's confidential. And it's for you. You don't have to go through anything alone. And even if it's good news and you just want somebody to stand in agreement with you for something wonderful that's happening, it doesn't have to be tragedy. Maybe it's praise report. You want to let us know how the good prayers have come through. Whatever that may be, regardless of where you are in the world, we're here as part of this spiritual community that I'm talking about. So just breathe that in. And speaking of community, that we invite anybody who's looking at this now, who even hears about this, to be part of spiritual community with us. It's not a traditional membership church where you got to join, but check us out. You can check us out on our calendar. You'll see that information coming up. There's things that are local. We are actually physically located in the Santa Cruz area of California on the Central Coast, a little south of San Francisco, just due west of the Silicon Valley. There are things that are happening virtually. There are things that are happening both like in person and virtually. I just want to remind everybody that on the first Sunday of every month, we have an in-person gathering at the Resource Center for Nonviolence from 3 to 5, and there's music and, come on by and, join us, have a really, really good time. In the first Sunday in December, we're going to have Heather Houston and her choir Yale Latte singing and being with us. There's also our food bank that's still going strong. We are now housing it on the campus of Santa Cruz Bible on Frederick Street near Soquel Avenue. And we're pushing out like 8,000 pounds of food, every week. Noon on Thursdays, it's farmers market style. So I know this is a time of a lot of extra eating and all of the rest of that. No questions asked. Just come. It's good. I mean, it's not like just like leftovers or anything. I mean, it's good, fresh fruits, vegetables. We're lucky to live in a breadbasket on the Central Coast, and canned goods and packaged goods. Please either get them for yourself or take it to somebody else. We can also use volunteers. So many things that are going on, and we're so pleased to be in fellowship and community with you. Speaking of that and being in community, I want to say thank you for your gifts, your tithes, your contributions. As you'll see coming up on your screen, that there are numerous ways that you can participate in conscious giving. You'll see a QR code that's there, and you can use your mobile device and go directly to that. If you're looking at this online right now, you'll see a donate button where you are there. If you follow this and go to our website, you'll also see that there's an opportunity to do a recurring donation. I want to encourage you to do that. This, whatever amount that you're giving today, it'll be that same amount on this same day of the month every year. And it's an easy way for you to stay in contact. It's an easy way for you to be a part of the community. I give to many, many organizations as a thank you for the work that they're doing. And for those of you who are doing full out tithes, like 10% of your income. And so through our pledge partner programs, through this reoccurring, I say thank you. Thank you. Or you may prefer to do it with Cash App. And you'll see that information is there. And this information will show up again at the end of the program in case you don't catch it now. But thank you, thank you, thank you. We're an independent spiritual community, and literally all of our work gets done, and our offices, our operations, everything from the generosity of those of you who are moved by our message and the things that we do. So we say thank you. And I am going to invite Gary Lynn Floyd to come back and take us on home.
Right. I love you, Rev D. That was just download direct from Spirit. It's always that way, and it just even more so today. Thank you so much for that. So until next time, love be with you, peace enfold you, Spirit lift you, breathe it in, truth come through you, may good flow to you, and let joy renew you till we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Yeah. All together, hand in hand, we see the light, we take a stand, and we are changing. A whole new life for you and me. Take your past and set it free. Share this blessing. Love be with you. Peace enfold you. Spirit lift you. Breathe it in. Truth come through you. May good flow to you. And let joy renew you till we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, 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 love be with you. I love you. Thank you.